Hey everybody, this is Hans Murphy from Modesto, California, with another episode of WrestleMurphia. And today we're going to be reviewing WWE Elimination Chamber 2026. But before we get into that, obviously we do have a sponsor. And I say obviously, not every YouTube channel has a sponsor. We're incredibly lucky to have them. So I'm going to hand you over to Les, who's going to tell you all about our sponsors. Hey, this is Les. And I'm here to do the sponsorship announcement. So, all Murphiverse programming is brought to you by Home for the LD Lee. They sell Laserdiscs, they sell HD DVDs, and they sell CDs. And if you want to get a 20% discount, you can put in the code MURPH and get 20% off of your order. Nobody's perfect. So, but you'll get a perfect deal every time from Home for the LD Lee. So go check them out. Home for the LD Lee, the kings of Laserdiscs. So it's been a while since I did one of these reviews. We've been playing the video game instead, mostly because the shows have been that bad. It just, it felt like it was better to just do our own thing rather than trying to rely on them to actually produce something worth talking about. However, I just felt that, seeing as it has been a while, maybe we should actually talk about it because it's just not getting any better. In fact, if anything, each week it just seems to get worse. This whole week's WWE programming has been just dreadful. And it can't be down to the talent because they've got plenty of that. It can be down to the fans because they've got plenty of those. So that kind of leaves the corporate types and the so-called creative team. Now the creative team is headed up by... What on earth was that? Well, that's how he spells his name. It's Triple H, but I don't know, it's funnier to call him. Probably more accurate. From what I've seen, he is full of hot air. So, there's a show they do called Unreal where they show you behind the scenes, and they'll show the various writers and stuff and agents trying to push things and make things happen. And, basically, all that happens is Triple H or just likes to shout them down and say, no, we're doing this. Now, he does have a few people on his side that are just going to follow whatever he says. So Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard are, at this point, just kind of yes men. So, that's kind of the state of the WWE at the moment. So there's only 4 matches on this show, so that's kind of why I got to talk about other stuff as well, because otherwise there's not a lot to talk about. I could talk about last night's SmackDown as well, but honestly, the only thing to really talk about with SmackDown last night was there was someone in the front row wearing a furry blue hat, which I thought was kind of cool. So it had cat ears on it. Otherwise, at least it had more than 4 matches, which seems to be the average these days. But none of them were all that great. This week on Raw saw the official retirement for AJ Styles. Great wrestler, although completely, let's just say he thinks the earth may be flat, despite having flown around it. Fucking idiot. He's also not too keen on the gay community, so...
how you doing tonight, Dave? It's Brian. AJ, everybody.
What's up, man?
Just had a question for AJ. I was just wondering how you feel about your large following in the gay community.
The gay community?
That's just because I think it's mainly attributed to your looks.
Oh, God. Get rid of him.
Hi, AJ.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. I was going to ask you about your work in ROH and everything because I think you're excellent there. But I kind of had a change of heart and wanted to encourage you to actually leave the show after Dave hung up on that first caller because I don't think it matters what sexual orientation your fans are.
All right, bye.
I don't know, maybe that's something that Pirate King could make him walk the plank for at some point. Probably not tonight, though, because, actually, fuck it. Arr, AJ Styles, you are a homophobic moron. Therefore, you can walk the plank. Arr!
He done fell in the water.
So, it's kind of cool that he got his moment and all that to say goodbye to the fans in his hometown. They made that the main event of the show. And when the main event of the show is a mic spot, which is, for those who, it's fairly obvious, it's when they get on the microphone and they just talk. That's not a good sign. Especially when there was, on that show, only 4 matches one of which was like less than 3 minutes long. So that's where we are with WWE at the moment. They've also been teasing this mystery box that's going to be open today at, well, actually at this point it's probably tomorrow. It was actually, at this point technically it was yesterday, but at the show, at the Elimination Chamber, the big mystery box was going to be opened, and we're going to find out what was in it. So that's kind of the state of WWE at this point going into the show. The show starts the way most of them do, with just, I think it was about 10 minutes of bullshit before the first match started. It started with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and it featured Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, Alexa Bliss, and that handbag woman, Kiana James, who up until recently she's just been Julia's friend who walks around with a ridiculously oversized handbag. But she was in the Royal Rumble for like 30 minutes, but didn't really do anything. Well, she may have done a few eliminations, I can't remember. But the point is that she doesn't really do anything all that impressive. And it's just kind of jarring that she's gone from being the woman who carries around the oversized handbag to suddenly she was in the Rumble, and now she's in this Elimination Chamber match to get a shot at a world title. So the way the Elimination Chamber works, they basically just bring them in one at a time. Well, it starts off with 2 in the ring, and then the others come in one by one. And honestly, it was pretty boring until it got down to the last 2, which was Rhea and Tiffy. I mean, it wasn't terrible before that. It just was, I don't know, if you've seen one of these matches, it feels like that they were just kind of going through the motions. Last year's one was better, but this year it just kind of, it all seemed to fall flat until it got down to that final 2. Then it became a pretty good match for not very long, because then it had to finish at a certain time, and it finished. Rhea won, which is cool. I like Tiffy as well, but I think that's probably the right call, because whoever won was going to have to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, and Jade Cargill needs someone that can carry her, basically. She's not a good wrestler. Tiffy's great, but the last few times I've had her against Jade, she's not experienced enough to be able to sort of carry someone that's as green as Jade Cargill is. So yeah, it just dragged. It wasn't that great until sort of towards the end. And yeah, I think we'll give this one. We then fast forwarded to the next match. There's just too much bullshit on these shows, especially all the drone shots of buildings. I don't really get why they do that. They do it every show. If you want to check out what that is, you can just watch one of the free shows they do on YouTube, or one of the weekly shows on Netflix. They do it every time. And it's not always the city they're in. It's just going to be, maybe they're going there, but there's no real context to it, and they just, for some reason, need to show buildings. I don't know, maybe the director is more interested in architecture than he is in wrestling. Apparently there was some ads in there as well. Yeah, who gives a fuck? This is a pay-per-view. We're, well, PLE, Premium Live Event, but people are paying for the streaming service to watch these shows. We don't really need to see advertising. But anyway, the next match was AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Women's title. Or Women's Intercontinental title. I got that run the wrong way. Not that it really matters. This match was, how do I put it nicely? Long and slow and boring. It sort of felt like Becky had this idea of cool moments that she wanted to do for the match, but had no idea of how to put it all together to tell a cohesive story. It's a shame, because Becky's had good matches in the past. AJ, when she was a regular member of the roster, had some great matches, so I don't really know what went wrong. I guess AJ has not really wrestled much in the past 11 years. Becky only really came back to working full-time about a year ago, so... And also now they're not wrestling as often as they used to, so there's bound to be ring rust there, and they never really get a chance to shake that off. Not much else to say about this match. I thought it was interesting that AJ had a picture of a spider on her shorts, and Becky was kind of dressed as a bumblebee. But Other than that, not much else to say. Not a great match. I forgot to mention that AJ won. Although honestly, by that point, I didn't care. We then fast forwarded more buildings and random shots of the audience and whatever else to get to the next match. And I think that this may be where we missed it, but they opened the box. And inside the box was a coffin, and out of it came this guy Danhausen. Danhausen is a guy who's been in the other lot, in AEW. And he's kind of a comedy character. And if you've ever watched any AEW, their biggest weakness is those comedy characters. They're just really, really stupid. I don't mean they're stupid in the sense of wrestling. I mean they're stupid characters that this kind of humor that it might appeal to a 5-year-old, but anyone above that age group is probably. Then people are enjoying them in AEW, so I don't know. But I don't know. At least it wasn't Orange Cassidy or Michael knock it the fuck off and get the fuck off my television. But yeah, I don't know why they've done that. I don't know why they brought this guy in. Apparently he's a friend of CM Punk's. But I'd expect better of Punk because, he's a serious wrestler and he's brought in this comedy goof. I was watching someone else's review and they said when he came out they thought it was the Kiss Demon. That would have been better actually. That guy wasn't a bad wrestler and yeah, it could have been something. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this guy other than he feels like he's going to be another waste of space on the roster. But it'll make 2 or 3 people laugh, so I guess that's something. CM Punk then put his world title on the line against Finn Balor. And this match was okay eventually, but it was really slow to get going. Once it got going, it was good. It was just, I don't know. I was expecting more from these guys, and yeah, it really wasn't that special. Especially as they were in CM Punk's hometown, and it's for title and all of that. It was just kind of a disappointing match. When I say disappointing, and it was probably still the best match on the show. It just wasn't that good. Punk retained the title, which was predictable. We're going to give this one. After that was more bullshit before we get to the men's Elimination Chamber match. This was between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Cody Rhodes, and someone else. And LA Knight. That was the other guy. The match was mostly fine for what it was. Predictably, the 2 African Americans got eliminated first because I guess this is like a slasher movie and the black guys have to go first. They tried to make Logan Paul look really strong, which was, I think, the wrong move. Thankfully, he didn't win in the end. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, now he is a full-time roster member. I still don't get why people like him. He is a good athlete, I'll give him that much, but he's not a good wrestler. There is a difference, and that's something that I think a lot of people are missing. They're sort of saying, oh, yeah, he can do flips and stuff, but just because you can do flips doesn't mean you're a great wrestler. There's some amazing gymnasts out there, but I can't imagine them necessarily becoming great wrestlers. Some could. I mean, Tiffany Stratton was a trampoline gymnast, so I think Charlotte Flair. There's quite a few have come through gymnastics. Yeah, just because he's athletic doesn't mean he's going to necessarily be great in the ring. And he can put on a show, but he doesn't have those fundamentals, and the psychology just isn't there. Probably because he's not intelligent enough to understand psychology. I mean, he's a Trump supporter after all. The match was going along fine until there's these masked guys that have been showing up and attacking the Paul Heyman group, The Vision, which Logan Paul is a member of. So they showed up and they interfered, and one interfered and then another one came in and he interfered, and then he pulled the mask off and it was Seth Rollins. Then Drew McIntyre came in and took out Cody. So yeah, just kind of dumb. Typical booking, because he seems to not be able to book a show without having at least one major fuck-up run-in type scenario where it just kind of fucks the whole matchup. Randy Orton won, which was probably the only surprise of the night. I don't think anyone was really expecting Orton to win, but it's cool that he did, and he'll get to go on to WrestleMania to face Drew, which should be a good match. So at least there's that. But as for this match itself, we're going to give it. So that was the show, and what else to say about it? It wasn't very good, and that's been the way with most of these shows. And maybe we should have just done the Elimination chamber or something. Maybe we still will do that at some point. Maybe we should just do more of our own wrestling shows by the video game, because I don't know, we're gorillas and we can book better shows than seems to be able to these days. So also the ticket prices over there are just getting insanely expensive. Even the green shirt guy who's at every show or at every major show wasn't there. That's pretty telling that they've got hardcore fans that are just can't be bothered, and they're still making record profits. But that's because they're selling more. They're not selling as many tickets, but they're selling them for more money. And that's a big problem with WWE as it stands at the moment. It is a 100% capitalist venture, all about how much money we can make rather than what kind of show can we put on. I think that's really disappointing, and I wish someone else would buy the company, and someone who actually gives a shit about wrestling. Like I say, they've got the talent, they just don't seem to know what the fuck they're doing. So we're going to give this show overall, and honestly that's being kind of generous, but yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hey, can I finish this off? Yeah, I suppose so. See ya. Hey, I just wanted to say there's a lot of serious shit going on in the world right now. There's Trumpty Dumpty bombing Iran, and with ICE agents killing people in the street for no apparent reason. We've seen, a rise in racism and other forms of hatred and bigotry, and of course, but obviously the biggest thing at the moment is that the U.S. and Israel are seemingly trying to start World War III. But for the actions that are going on now, I just want to say the government and the fuckwits at the top, you got your Trumpty Dumpty and Netanyahu, they can fuck right off. And never forget that Trump is mentioned more times in the Epstein files than Jesus is mentioned in the Bible. So that's got to tell you something. And of course this is related because the WWE is in bed with Trumpty Dumpty, particularly is a member of the Make America Healthy Again thing. I just wanted to come on and say that. So hopefully in these dark and twisted times, we Murphys can maybe give you something, some kind of entertainment, some kind of a bit of a boost. And if we can make you laugh or teach you something or whatever. But yeah, I just couldn't let this go on without saying something. So I've said it. Don't forget our website, which we need to update. Don't forget Home for the LD Lee. Don't forget to comment on all that stuff. And we'll see you next time. Well, we won't see you. You'll see us. But you get the idea.